Good morning, good morning. This is Jacqueline Richardson with JJ Diamond, Deja, Jackie, whatever y'all call me. I hope all those out there is well. It's Monday morning and we back at it again. I wanted to talk about poor-minded thinking today, poor-minded people, and how we perceived things, and why we shouldn't think in those ways. At one point in my life, I was a poor-minded thinking person. Back when I was young, and I had to let that type of thinking go, in order to see the light at the end of the tunnel. I notice a lot of the children today say life is so hard, and I constantly tell them that life is really not that hard. It's all on what you make it. But they're trying to do too many things at one time. And this is why they perceive things to be so hard. Even people in their 30s, late 20s, they're seeing life to be really, really hard. And the reason being is because the way they see life, the poor-minded thinking. And I just want to touch base on that today to help our youth out, with a little bit of something, to work upon. I tell people all the time I'm not perfect. However, I always kept my life above water, and I was thankful to have God carry me through a lot of my mistakes, to keep me here to talk about it today. However, with the youth today, they find things to be so difficult in trying to maintain mentally and physically, for them to elevate. It makes it hard for them to elevate because they're focusing on the wrong things. Now, for those that know my life story, know I came from a wealthy family, but poor-minded background, okay? And I was just my immediate family. The other ones in my family, they had that wealth mentality. Now, when I say wealth, people think when you have on designer clothes, I want to go back for a minute. I used to live in Maryland, okay? And when I first got there, I had to learn the concept of what was there. Granted, I came from New York State, New York City, and Buffalo, New York, where I seen people own their homes and people work every day to get what they felt like they deserved. And everybody's perception of what they feel like they deserve is different, okay? You got some people that may feel that they need 5 or 6 cars in order to feel like this is what they deserved. Or you got some people want all the sneakers in the world. They feel like this is what they deserve. Some people want all the jewelry in the world. This is what they feel like they deserve. And then you have those that want generational wealth, and that's what they feel like they deserved. Okay? So when I went to Maryland, I already had some type of concept of what most of the people there were striving for, and I didn't realize that majority of the people that I was living around were rich, okay? And the reason why I didn't know that they were rich is because they wasn't walking around with designer clothes on, they wasn't driving fancy cars. A lot of them was riding bicycles, okay? And I'm just keeping it real with you. But that's why their bank accounts was stacked, okay? And I'm going to tell y'all this story. I had first got there, and I think I told y'all this story before, and everybody know I have my CDLs, and shout out to Buffalo, because they the ones who helped me get my CDLs. When I came to Maryland, you know, that was an opportunity for me to get a job. Now, this is the other thing, you know. I want to tell people that you have to line your life up to where if one thing fails, you have something else, okay? And if you don't do that and you have to be stuck in one tunnel, you'll never get out and you'll never progress, okay? So had got to that point in my life in Buffalo, and shout out to some of my friends for actually showing me the way because of what they were going through, because I learned from my friend mistakes as well. And that's something that we have to take notice of. What our friends go through, we need not to make those same mistakes. And that's why sometimes people that's close to us go through things so we won't make those mistakes. So it helped me change my life over to benefit even today. If I decided I wanted to go out there right now and get a job driving a bus, truck, school bus, garbage truck, it don't matter. I can. Because I have a clean CDL. Okay? And, you know, people say to me, you've changed so much. And what they were looking at was who I was 20, 30 years ago. Okay, and as you get older, you grow and you protect your being. And when I say protect your being, meaning, okay, you know, y'all will hear me say a lot of times self-worth and self-love. Okay, and the reason why I always bring that up is because it's not only about your inner love, it's about your outer love as well. Okay, and I'm not talking about the makeup, the hair. I'm talking about your credentials, who you are, what's your characteristics. What are you willing to fail upon and what you're willing not to fail upon. Okay, now I built a character for myself. Okay, and that character is a person that loves to win. Okay, and when I say love to win, I mean love to win for thyself. Okay? First, you got to want to win for you before you win for other people. And if you're not in that state of mind or mind frame to help others win, if you're not winning, they're not going to win. Okay? So you have to see both sides of it in order for you to win, to help the other side. Okay, and this is the way it works. You know, I had to stay very disciplined. People thought, you know, I was living in the suburbs with a bunch of millionaires, and I'm going to just keep it real with y'all. And you would never know that they were millionaires, and they lived good, and I learned to live like them, you know, and I wasn't a millionaire. I was wealthy, but I wasn't a millionaire, but I still lived pretty good. And I did the same things that they did every day, and that was go to work, stay humble. You know, you get the things that you want when you have the money to get it. You know, the main objective was to keep a beautiful, safe home over your family's head and a safe vehicle to get to and from. Okay? That was the objective. Now, I want to tell y'all a little bit about my boss when I was driving trash company. Okay? My boss would come, and when I say my boss, and I mean the owner, okay, because my boss was his son, and the owner of the company used to wear dirty cut-up jeans, a white tee, and ride a bike. Okay? All his children was employed. Okay, everybody had a job to do, and he would come around and dictate stuff every now and again. He was also a senator, and he helped the communities. Okay, he wasn't too fond of black people, but, you know, it is what it is. But he employed a lot of us. Okay? And I'm just throwing this out there, not to look down on his name, because he did employ me as well. But it was some of the things that he said and did that really didn't get next to me. And it made me think, you know, it taught me a lot. And this is why I'm telling y'all about it. He looked down on black people because it was designed for us not to have anything, because that's the way we think. Okay? We think poor-minded. Okay? All we care about is clothes and shoes, fancy things that we really can't afford. Okay? Now, when this man passed away, his family sold off his garbage company for first I heard 6 and then I heard 10. I'm not sure, y'all. But I know it was in the millions. And I just told y'all that this man walked around with dirty cut-up jeans and a white tee and rode a bike every day. Okay? But he was worth anywhere from $6 to $10 million. Okay? So, I say that to say, you know, sometimes we take our money and invest it in the wrong things. You know, and I had to learn that, you know. And every chapter of your life is supposed to be a better chapter. Okay, so when I came from Buffalo, I had learned to make options for myself. Okay, meaning, okay, like right now, I'm gonna just be honest with you. Right now, I can do sales and marketing, route delivery, drive a CDL vehicle, take care of the elderly, and make music, and do my own business. Okay? That's what I'm worth. Oh, I forgot. I do hair, do a bunch of other little stuff too. But I'm talking about the major things that I can go out here and do, okay, to make sure my family can eat. Now, all of those things, except for sales, I gained before I came to Maryland. Okay? And when I got to Maryland, that's when I gained another notch under my belt. Okay? Now, I'm talking about this because I see a lot of people out here today, they have no skills. They don't have other ways to make money for their family other than maybe street hustling or the basic. Okay, go out and try to get a job the best way they can, you know, and that's not a good look. And we want to get our youth out of that type of thinking. Okay, we want you guys to have options. Okay, and be able to elevate. Okay, now, yes, it's not easy. Anything that you worked for is hard. But once you get it, you appreciate it. You cherish it. I'm going to tell y'all this story. When I was working at Frito-Lay, I didn't really need my CDLs because I was just driving the box truck. Okay? But my license was about to expire. And I had to renew it. And I was short on some cash because I had went on a trip and tapped out, okay? And forgot, it was around my birthday time, and I forgot that I needed to renew my license. And to renew my license, being that as a CDL, it costs anywhere from $150 to $200 depending on what state you're in, okay? And some states you have to have your DOT, whether you're driving a DOT vehicle or not. Okay, and in Maryland, that was the case. Okay, which killed me. I love North Carolina because if you're not driving a CDL, They don't take it away from you. They just say, okay, when you're ready, if you decide you're going to drive a CDL vehicle, then you come with your DOT and you'll be ready to go. Well, Maryland, they're different. They want you to have it whether you're driving it or not. Now, I got to come up with $200 for that, for my CDLs to renew it, my license. Then I got to go to the doctors, okay, and get that done. Most of the time, that's like $80. And like I told you, I was tapped out. So I'm like, oh, my God. So I did have some money, so I was able to get some of it done, but I couldn't get it all done, okay? Luckily, I get paid every week, so I'm about to get paid again. As they call it, blow a check. That's what I did. I blew a check. And I said, okay, how am I going to get through this? But anyway, it worked itself out. And I was able to go and get my physical, because I had money, because I still had money. Don't get me wrong. I wasn't broke. But I spend $100 and something to get to work every week. Okay, so when you do all this adding up, this was my life every week. Okay, I had to pay for daycare. So it's a lot of things that I had coming out my check. And then I decided to blow some money. You know what I mean? So that put me in the deep end. And like I said, I still had money, but it just wasn't enough. So I had called a friend of mine and asked them, can they help me? And they was like, what do you need it for? It was like, you don't even drive a CDL vehicle. And I'm like, but I want to keep it because I never know what's going to happen tomorrow. Okay? Well, you're making good money. And I'm like, okay, so what? I still want to keep it. Okay, now this is knowing your worth, people. Okay? So now, I sat and I said a prayer. And I said, God, please help me with this. Help me figure this out. So I decided to call the DMV, and I explained the situation to them. And I said, I really need to keep my CDLs, and I really don't want to lose them. And you know, I'm going on, explaining to the lady. And she said, well, when do you get paid? I said, Friday. She said, oh, well, great. Today is Wednesday. If you come here today, write me a check. It ain't going to clear until next Monday anyway. So that was the end of that, okay? So I was thankful, okay, because that worked out fine. And I was able to keep my CDLs. But the point that I'm trying to make is, I went through channels trying to keep it. Okay? But good thing I kept it because 3 years later, I no longer work for this company. And I might need it to get another job. Okay? So, that's like with me. I had my CNA and home health aide when I was young, okay, 18 years old. Okay, did that for 10 years, let it go, didn't follow up on nothing. I just didn't want to do home care. I didn't want to do no care with the elderly, the sick. I just wanted to leave that alone, and I let it go. And I came all the way here to North Carolina 30 years later, I'm sorry, and it presents itself to me again, and I had to start all over, okay? And it kind of pissed me off, but it is what it is. But if I would have known when I was younger, I would have kept up on all my certifications, did everything that I needed to do in order to stay above water, which would have gave me another option. I had the experience, but I had to be certified all over again, okay? So what I'm saying is, I want the kids of tomorrow to start thinking about their self-worth. Even if you go to college and get a degree, you still need skills, okay? You gotta have some type of skills to be able to care for yourself, okay? Now, if you look at my Facebook page, Jacqueline Richardson with the white and black photo, okay? You see I have so many jobs up there that I've done. And those are my skills, okay? And I had to be trained to do those jobs, okay? I've been a security officer. I've been a housekeeping. I've been a CNA. I've been in sales and marketing. Drove routes for chips and for trash, okay? I do music. Everybody know I danced all my life, but I'm getting old now, and I don't know if it's the weight or I'm just getting old. But people know that I did these things. Okay, that's my resume. That's my makeup. That's who I am. When you have a makeup or a character that you have built, you don't lose that character for nothing. Okay? You will fight to the bitter end to keep who you built yourself to be. Okay? Because even if we use these terminologies of, I'm a product of my environment. Okay? What's your environment? You can be a product of your environment. And if your environment is destruction, and that's what you choose to be, that's your choice. Okay? However, you don't have to be a product of your environment. And granted, like in the beginning of my growing up years, I was a product of my environment. But I made a choice to get out of that. Okay? And you can make that choice too. And that choice is to fight for yourself. Love yourself. Build who you want you to be. People would say to me, there's so many rumors on the ground about me, it's unreal, people. And this is what people do when they don't understand how you have turned your life around to love you. Okay? I have built my life so much, okay, and strives for more every single day, even to today. I'm still striving to better myself, okay? And you have to keep that self-love. I don't want to be like this. You use your friends, the people that you've lost, or even when you watch TV and the news, you use these things as a product of what you don't want to be. So you stay away from that. And this is where discipline comes in at, and this is where when I call on all the religions that's disciplined, totally disciplined, and that's like with the Jehovah's Witness, the Muslims, a lot of them are real disciplined, and they discipline for a reason, because you got to know how to withhold from certain things, so you can save money and build grounds and move on with life, not just stay stagnated. Okay? Now, you ever sat a bucket of water down and just left it there for days and days and days. You come back 3 weeks later, 4 weeks later, that water stinks. It's stagnated. It's moldy. It's creating bad things and bacteria, and this is what happens to your life when you stagnate your life and don't move further. Okay? I don't care how old you are. You should be doing something to elevate your life. Okay? Every single day. Even when people retire, if they're not the type of people that have second jobs or whatever the case may be, I've seen people retire and start sewing or doing knitting and stuff like that, or they find something to do so their life won't be stagnated. It's not that they don't have enough money, but now it's time to elevate your mind and figure out where you're going with this. Okay, I retire, so do I die today? Or do I die tomorrow? Or I'm just sitting here waiting to die? No. You don't stagnate your life, because you're going to get what you asked for. Okay? So, you have to keep moving. You have to keep trying. Even if everything you've tried, you feel like you're being stopped or it's not for you. If you feel like you want it, you got to keep going and keep trying to find ways to make it work or to make it happen for yourself. Just like me when I first got here, and I said, "Damn, everybody here is doing CNA. That's the big thing here, or nursing. You know, I wasn't that interested in nursing up north because I made more money than nurses up north. So it wasn't really interesting to me. You know what I mean? Like, be a nurse for what? I got to be the head over somebody's life for 60, 70 grand a year when I can be the head over the potato chips that the people eat. I'd rather do this. Okay? So that was my choice. But then when I came down here, it was like, okay, well, in sales and marketing down here, you need a degree. I didn't finish college, okay? Yeah, I got credits. I could go back and finish, but I need money. So I was caught between a rock and a hard place. What do I do? Okay, now I got to go backwards in order to come forward. I said, oh, no, this don't make no sense. This is something I got out of 20 years ago. And I got to go back to it? Why? Didn't make sense to me. But if this is what I got to do in order to elevate to get myself to where I need to be, I'll go back to it for a little while, but it ain't permanent. So sometimes this is what we have to do. We don't always like, okay, I took a job recently in a warehouse. I hate warehouses. I hate the way they treat their people. I hate how nasty they be. I hate that they hire a lot of young people that don't really know what they really want to do, which makes it harder on the people that do want to stay there, because then when them younger people decide they want to get a check and they don't want to come back, then you stuck working all these hours and burning yourself out for this company until they can get a flood of people that really want to work. You know, so I've always hated warehouse work. But if this is what you got to do to get to the other side once again, this is what you have to do. You know what I mean? And this is why I believe God brought me back down so I can come back up and show people how I've done it. You know, because I always disappear. I take, you know, because I have to be away from negativity and people that's negative, toxic people in order for me to do what I need to do for me. So people didn't get to see me elevate. People didn't get to see me go to school. People didn't get to see me transform into this person that I am today. You know, even when I reunited with my father, he felt like he didn't even know who I was. You know what I mean? And that's fine, because that's what I want. I don't want people to know who I am, because I'm building who I want to be. Okay? And when you're at that point in your life and people see those changes, okay, they may not understand it, and it's okay. Let them think and feel what they want to feel, but you know what you're doing for you. Your love, the love for you have for yourself, your self-worth, not what they perceive you to be. Okay? My brother, I'm going to use him for instance. He came to Maryland to live and said to me, "Where's my sister?" I said, "What do you mean? Your sister's standing right here." "This is not my sister." But he caught on real fast, because he lived both sides of the world. So he both sides of the fence. So he knows, okay, so we not doing this life no more. "Yeah, brother, because I have elevated. This is who I am today." "Oh, okay, so this is what we doing." "Okay. Got you. Let's run it." You know what I mean? I mean, he had his issues too, and the way of doing things too that I couldn't recognize and understand, but he got it. You understand what I'm saying? So this is where y'all have to get with people that's like-minded, okay? If people are not elevating themselves to be better, then you don't want to be around them. Not for 5 minutes, not for 10 minutes. And if you are around them for 10 minutes, you need to be telling them what you have elevated yourself to do, and they should join you. And if they don't, you keep it moving. That's the way it works. You know what I mean? You don't stagnate yourself because of loneliness. You don't stagnate yourself because of what's the word? Wanting to belong. You move on. That's just the way it is. I don't care if you've been friends with a person for 30 years. If they're stagnant and you're not, you move on. Because they're going to hold you back. And you're going to be stagnant and die together. So you have to say to yourself, you sit down and you make this promise to yourself, not your mother, not your brother, not your cousin, not your sister, nobody, but yourself. Okay? And you say to yourself, self, and you look in the mirror and you say, this is what you want to do. This is who you want to be. And you make it happen. It's simple. How hard can that be? And if you find roadblocks, you find another one. You find another road to go around. That's why they say, when roadblocks, and they have, you detour this way. But sometimes that's what you got to do. You got to make a detour. You take that detour, and then you're going to run into something else. And you may not like that something else, but you're doing it because it was during the detour. But while you're at that detour, you're able to meet people and talk to people that's like-minded just like you. And they done told you how you can go and do X, Y, and Z. And you're like, damn, that's all I had to do? That was simple. Okay, great. Now I'm going to get working on that while I'm doing this. Thank y'all. You know, they have that saying, some people is just in your life for a season, just to give you enough information to get you to the next level. And then you keep going. So, we want to start teaching people to stop being poor-minded, where, I have to accept the life that was given to me. No, you don't. You do not. You have a choice. That's why they call America the greatest country, because we have choices. We're not told, recently we have with the COVID, we got to wear masks, we got to do this, because that has something to do with our health. However, here there's always ways to make things happen for yourself with the choices that you make. And a lot of the times we don't know a lot of the information that's going on. That's why you shouldn't be afraid to tell people what you're trying to do with your life, because they may have that information. I had one of my youth come to me yesterday. We thought he was going to be a football player. And we was rooting for him, And he told me yesterday, he said, nah, I don't want to play football. It's just too much drama, too much limelight with that. He was like, I want to be a businessman. And I said, oh, okay. I said, well, you should have told us that a long time ago. Now we'll direct you into being a businessman. You want to invest. Okay, so he's fighting both sides. You understand? He's still trying to fit in, but he's still trying to make it. So now he has to figure it out, and he will. And I have a lot of faith in him. The same with some of you. Even though y'all do things to please your parents. Okay, my parent want me to be this. Okay, and you do it just to please your parent, but that's not really what you want to do. Granted, if your parents are still taking care of you, yeah, you got to do it. But if your parents is not taking care of you, do what makes you happy and what makes you successful. My mama wanted me to graduate college, and I understand. She did. But I made more money than she did, and she graduated college. So what can she possibly say to me? So do y'all get where I'm going with this? I made her a believer. Before she left this earth, I was able to make her a believer. Mommy, I didn't need to finish college to be like you to make no money. Because I'm making more money than you and I'm taking care of you. Because I had skill. So I'm not saying don't go to college, because college is good. But you still need something else. Okay? You need other schooling. When I got out of school, I took a computer course. Computers just start popping. back in 1988, but they started popping back in 1986. We didn't know much about them, but they was starting to get, a lot of the jobs was inputting computers, so they needed to start training people. So they had a training class down at Empire Tech in the Empire State Building in New York, and I joined it. It didn't really cost that much. I think financial aid paid for it, and it was a 6 months course on computers. And people say, "Well, Jackie, how are you so good with computers?" Because I took a computer course for 6 months, and I was still hanging with y'all. Told y'all I was going to school. Y'all didn't know what I was doing, what type of school I was going to, but I was learning computers. This is what I was doing. Even though I was still going out with my friends, partying, hanging over here, doing this, doing that, I was still going to computer school. And this is why I know the concept of computers well today. Being my age, how I can grasp onto it so easy because they taught us the basics from when it was built. How I can learn an application so fast and how to work it and maneuver through it so easy at my age. Because I took the initiative to know how the world was getting ready to transform. And I needed to know. I wanted to know. And now I know why I wanted to know, because look at the world today. Everything is built around computers. I tell some people, they be like, I can't get through this. I said, well, you know what? You got to be patient with it because it's computers. And when computers decide they want to do what they want to do, you got to fall back. There's nothing you can do about it. I learned not to stress myself. You can't stress yourself because it's beyond our control. But if you can control it, then you control it. So, I just want people to stop thinking like you're not going to get anything other than what you have. That it's a gift for somebody to make it big or make it rich. It's not. You have to put your work in. And then when you do get to the top, that's when you're chosen. That's when they say, you know what, this person right here has put a lot of work in, has done all of these things. They're very experienced. We need this person. Any means necessary. Give them what they want. So do y'all get it now? I want you to understand it. And if you don't understand it, feel free to email me or call me, and I'll try to explain it a little bit better. But the concept of what I'm trying to say is you don't have to be poor. You don't have to be poor-minded. You can build yourself from nothing to something with discipline. What's the other word I'm looking for, y'all? Perseverance. Okay? Dedication. This is what it takes. Like, I feel like right now, I'm feeling real fat. Okay, I can't dance no more. I'm feeling some kind of way. And it's bothering me because I've always been able to dance. That was my signature. Jackie the dancer. You know what I mean? And now I'm feeling like, ugh. But that's because I'm focused on other things. Where then I was focused on my body, staying fit. I was focused on, my moves every time I went to the parties or the club. And now I'm not focused on that because I'm focused on other skills and other things. So do y'all see how I've elevated my life? Because now I have even dropped the person that I really am. I really built myself from. Because I'm continuously elevating. And this is what y'all have to do. Even if people know you, oh yeah, you that fighter, okay? You was that fighter. Now you into this. Yeah, it might be 20 levels above, but that's where you got yourself to. They might have missed the memo, but you there. If they can't accept it, that's on them. That they wasted their lives 20 years on one job and they don't have no other skills other than that, and then they fall apart when they really need to move on to something else. Okay, so we need y'all to have self-love. Love yourself. Okay? Granted, they've taught us loving ourselves is having all the fly clothes and all the name brand this and name brand that. No, that's not loving yourself. That's actually hurting yourself, because all the money that you spent on all them clothes could have been money you spent to get a skill to get you a mansion 10 years from now. So y'all pay attention. Think about how you want to live, and the way you're living today will not be the way you're living 20 years from now. And you control that. Nobody can control that but you. Don't let things just be a dream when it's really obtainable. Okay? You don't have to be chosen to go out and buy a home. You don't have to be chosen to buy a $100,000 vehicle. You have to make it happen. Stay in your lane and graduate as time goes on. Don't try to live above means. If you ain't got it, people tell me, Jackie, why you don't drive a Benz? Drive a Benz for what? When the rims cost $1,200? When my brakes is going to run me $200? When I'm trying to build businesses? You got to be kidding me. And I try to eat healthy to stay alive so I can continue to build businesses? Only a fool would do that. And I'm not trying to be a fool. When you're young, you have a little leeway to make mistakes. But you got to remember, every day that go by, you're getting older. So you don't have that long to continue to make mistakes. You got to get it right. One day, or you're going to be stagnated. Well, this is the conclusion of this podcast. And I hope you guys understood how I broke it down about being poor-minded and how to elevate yourself and picking up skills. Recently I want to get into the radio world. That's another skill I wanted to pick up. And I asked a friend of mine. I said, you think I'm able to get into the radio world? And they would never give me a response. And I'm like, well, what type of friend are you when you can't be honest with me? Just say yes or no. You know what I mean? I would rather, if I can't, say no, so that way I can learn. Or if it's not for me, I'll move on to something else. But don't just say nothing. If I'm asking you, so be in the circle, people that is with people that's like you, that want to elevate and want to see other people elevate. Because if you're not in those type of circles, you're going to be stagnant. And I say that again. Well, I'm about to go. Hope everybody have a wonderful day. The weather's nice and cool today here in Charlotte. So it's not cold, but it's like a little breezy, which is good. I love it. It's not raining right now. It was raining earlier. And it rains here every day because it be so hot. But right now we got a nice cool breeze and I'm loving it. And I hope everybody's having a wonderful day. I love you guys. And I thank y'all for supporting me all the time. And this is Miss JJ, Jacqueline Richardson, Jackie Deja. And I'm out.